What's up? So during the Xbox Game Show today, Owlcat Games, Owlcat released more footage of the Expanse, Oasis Reborn, and Robert. Wait, his name is Robert Purchase. I'm confused. Okay, Robert Purchase at Eurogamer decided to ask these guys, "Hey, are you using AI?" And they go, or Gen AI, and Owlcat Games, instead of denying it, outright said, "Yeah, we are." Say what you will, it's kind of based that is just outright admitting to it because a lot of the game developers would rather than just say no, and they would hide behind the idea they said no until it's too late and people find out. It's kind of good they said it. Is it based they're using Gen AI? No, but we'll get into it because I don't really understand what they're talking about. I don't know what they mean by everything in the final version will be definitely 100% made, but then says they're using Gen AI during the development. Two things can't be true at once in this situation because at that point your game is based in AI while then you're like saying it's gonna be 100% human made like that. It doesn't work like that, man. I'm sorry. Just be like, just straight up, just say, "Yo, we're using Gen AI. Gen AI will be in the game regardless of how you find it." We're just saying this out right now, so if you find something that's weird, just let you know it is that way. Um, I still don't know what this game is. It's a sci-fi MMO game, but single player. I don't understand. For some reason, there's a beta. How does a single player game have a beta? I don't understand. Regardless, let's just read into the article. Forget what the game is. Um, the Expanse or Osiris Reborn developer Owlcat, known for making Pathfinder, Kingfinder, or Kingmaker, Pathfinder, Wrath of Righteous, and Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, has confirmed it is using generative AI using the sci-fi game development. We don't use it to create any assets that will be in the game, PR manager Katharina Pop said, answering my question during a press briefing ahead of today's The Expanse and beta announcement, release and beta announcements. We use it for a lot of prototyping, trying things out, placeholders. This will all be replaced at the end. We use it basically for trying out things on a technical level. Pop added, for example, looking at how a 2D image looks in 3D or changing colors to what looks good. So it's basically for being able to iterate faster, but we don't use it to write. We don't use AI voice actors, so everything that will be in the final version will definitely be 100% human made. This isn't the first time the Cyprus Space Studio has faced questions over Gen AI. Back in 2024, the company posted a job advert for conceptual artists and listed one of the tasks as concept generative usage AI and other modern tools. A screenshot of the vacancy was shared on X by someone who'd been interested in the role, prompting a response from Owlcat in order to clarify the issue. We use AI as a working tool for our future project, which is in the early stages of production right now, said Owlcat, presumably referring to the Expanse Osiris Reborn, which was under wraps at the time. AI will be used exclusively for additional work with concepts and speeding up some initial process. For example, for creative search, inspiration, or vision coordination before starting conceptual stuff or conceptual in itself. Okay, conceptualization. Okay, weird. The final version of the game will not use any art generated by the neural networks. The same goes for the final concepts. Everything will be original and drawn by professional artists on our current projects. Road Trader and Pathfinder AI was not used at all. Owlcat expanded on the answers to try and cool some heated backlash later. Later on, we will under no circumstance replace our artists with neural networks. It said, all art in our games, including concepts, portraits, etc., are drawn exclusively by artists. We use a neural network to find this direction and inspiration before developing concepts for our upcoming project, which is currently in early development and unannounced. Expanse Osiris Osiris Reborn was eventually announced last summer, more than a year after X Exchange occurred. The Expanse Osiris Reborn looks like Mass Effect. Okay, he's just talking about the game now. Indeed, it is repair. Press briefing covered base combat. Blah blah blah. The major difference is the tone of the Expanse Osiris Reborn, which is going for more grind. Okay, now he's just talking about the game. Okay, whatever. Um, so they say some shit like, oh, we're using it to give us concepts and ideas, but then they're gonna turn around and say, oh yeah, we're gonna have humans like design it. But if you're making the AI do the generative tool of making it, of like giving you the design, then are you not just tracing it? I don't understand this idea here. That seems so crazy to me. That's just tracing, but with like an additional layer. Like, oh, we're not really using AI. We're using it to like create concepts and ideas, but we're not really using it. Like, here's the thing, man. I'm okay with AI being used in video games if it is for backlog stuff that makes it so generative AI, I should state, that makes it so that you can ease so you can reduce workload. I think the Final Fantasy 7 director said it pretty good. FF7 um Gen AI for, what was it called? It was for testing, I think. Like, it's yeah, QA and debugging. It's fine. QA and debugging is actually probably the best way to do it. I've said it before and I said it afterwards. This is the best way to use Gen AI because at the end of the day, you should be testing the game and getting it out faster by having an AI do monotonous tasks like jumping into a wall or using a weapon and attacking like like a person or something, or checking the menus and everything else, because so many menus and glitches, so many like problems in games can be found in the menu. And so having an AI more or less go in and check all that stuff for you on like is way better at a conceptual level uh, than having an actual human go through it. Yes, a human should go through it like once or twice eventually, but more so the human should be getting into actual game stuff that's more like important, like how does this enemy face against this weapon, or how does this enemy go against this like area or whatever, right? You get my point. What they're saying, what the Owlcat devs are saying, don't make any sense. You can't use it in a sense to say we're going to create a 2D image and then we're just going to develop it into 3D. Like, what are you talking about? You're just adding an additional layer to AI then. Like, like it to those that can't be true. It can't. Both those sentences cannot be true. Um, but regardless, I think right now we are still within an AI bubble of where people don't want to admit it, but I guarantee you 90 like nine I don't want to say an additional 90% of games of all now are using a generative AI. I think ones are being made. They're not even going to talk about it. They're not going to show you. They're not going to tell. They're not going to even do anything with it. They're just going to be like, yo, we're just internally we're using Gen AI. No one has to know because it is a hurt. It hurts us in marketing development, marketing campaigns, and having stuff like this and what they're saying is starting to feel monotonous. Even someone like me is feeling monotonous. Like I just talked about this with a different game, and it's something I'm glad people are still pushing back on, but it's only a matter of time where this is a tool that's going to be used for a game that people really like, and then they're going to like sort of glance over it. I think it already happened with Expedition 33. People, as soon as they heard it had generative AI, it was a big problem, and the devs quickly fixed it. But a lot of people were like side glancing, like, well, they only use it for art. It's not. I mean, they only use it for this like a concept art. It's not that bad. Or people were really trying to justify it, like, yes, they use generative AI. Should they have? No, it was baked into UE5. I get that. It sucks, whatever, right? But you're going to see more and more of these issues start to happen, and the more developers that keep doing this and the more they keep using it, the more I think people are going to kind of get sick of hearing it, to the point where they're just going to accept it. We've seen this happen all the time. This is how capitalistic like society works, really. Like, that's how loot boxes got so big. That's how like microtransactions got so big. People don't want to hear it. People want to keep it out of sight, out of mind. But I mean, here's the thing: if you use Gen AI to write code, it sucks. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, it's code, man. If you're going to write that same code, why not just use a tool that's going to help you? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I like tools that help you, but having tools to like generate creative ideas and stuff is where everything kind of falls apart, in my opinion. Because then, if you're going, oh, the human artists are making that, well, it's like, yeah, the human artist is making that to an extent, but really the computer is making it. It's not coming out of your head. You may be writing the prompt down, but it's not really coming out of your head at that point, right? It's coming out of a computer. Um, Again, it's a strange conversation. Looking at the comments, personally, I really appreciate you asking time. The use Gen AI slipped on the radar, like Crimson Desert, for example. I think something is gonna slip. Something always slips, and they're going to be like very they're gonna be quickly like, oh, we're gonna fix it. Like, okay, guys, sure. Be hard and hard to avoid as time goes on, because yeah, every single publisher will be using it. Ubisoft, EA, uh, think about all the big ones. Rockstar will definitely start using it. Every single company will start using it. This guy doesn't use buy games. Yeah, yeah. Backlash, Expanse. Yeah, don't do it. Placeholder. Yep. Yeah, it'll become a point. It'll become so ingrained in our culture that it'll become like a point of like, it's gonna be norm. Like, the way I think about this AI kind of stuff is the way I look at Deus Ex or Cyberpunk, where so much of this stuff is out there to the point where you just kind of accept it, and it's just the part of the world at this point. Like in Cyberpunk, nothing is human made, really, right? Like, that's the whole point. Nothing is human made. Everything is uh I think it's Cyberpunk. I might be misremembering here, but there was something where it was like nothing's human made. Everything is like a far future where we're going to look back and think, oh, this is what real humans made. That's crazy. We're gonna come into I think the next generation, and maybe 5 years, 6 years, generations from now on, kids and adults are gonna look back and be like, remember when humans used to make all this stuff by themselves with no help of machines? That's crazy. Oh, no help of like AI? That's kind of crazy. And it's already getting to that on YouTube. Anyway, I have no issue being used in this capacity. The time for saver for prototyping and speed up process. Take the load off a designer's hands. Taking speed tree or color change options in Photoshop is when using used as a tool, and devs are fine, and AI is used to create and design finished assets. And then over Solus, generic pretty slightly anime inspired girl in spacesuit stop, and every game looks like it can blend into one another, then I will be upset. I love the effort, passion, and craft that gets into pouring into the games, which is why I appreciate and adore the indie scene so much. And trust me, you'll notice this as it gets replaced. If a lot of games seem generic and paint by numbers now, looking at you and Ubisoft, then imagine how generic it'll be when the art and soul is stripped. I just hope that enough will use it the right way with morals and ethics. I don't have a lot of hope for morals and ethics materializing as technology as it stands and utilizing exploitative to begin with. Would it have been as successful without wild speculation that seems widely acknowledged as being unrealistic environmental controls? Okay, sure. I'm not really sure where this person's going with this convo, but sure. Uh, yeah, it's Also complains some of the employees wearing leather, not being vegan too. Well, kind well, that's different. One's actually like impacting the world, and one is just like hurting. Well, it's hurting the world as well, but not as bad. It's the matter of like how bad is it. Um, yeah, people will be doing that. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I don't like it. I personally don't like it, but it's people need to need to wrap their head around the idea that it's going to keep happening, and if it helps developers, they're gonna do it, regardless if they like it or they don't. Um, because it's the new buzzword, the new hot thing. Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. I'll leave it there. Take care and see ya.